Hi guys, welcome to my channel and to my Back to Beauty No Buy year. This year I am concentrating on using my makeup and not buying any. Today is a new series that I brought up in my 2019 makeup resolutions video. I'll have that link below for you in case you're interested. But I talked to you guys about wanting to learn some new techniques this year and bring you guys along on the journey. That is what my Journey in Beauty has always been about, learning new things in regards to beauty and makeup and informing you guys and bringing you guys along with on that journey. So today, as I teased about in a Instagram post, I'm going to be talking about blush draping. A little bit of history and information about blush draping in general. Blush draping was actually a technique that was created 40 years ago in the 70s by a really well-known makeup artist called Way Bandy, and he called it color glow. What exactly is blush draping? Draping involves brushing blush from your temples down to the apples of your cheek in a C-shaped formation. The result is a lifted effect, which gives you the illusion of higher, sharper cheekbones. Who doesn't want that? So by starting on the temple and working down toward the apple of your cheek, this ensures that you don't get too much concentrated color on the fullest part of your cheeks, which is the apples. By starting back here with the color concentration, again, it gives that lifted technique or that lifted look. So I have below in the description box for you guys been watching a slew of videos on draping, from Lisa Eldridge to Wayne Goss, as well as I read an article, I think it's from a website called Refinery 29. I will correct myself on the screen if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna have all of that linked down in the description box for you. These are the videos and the article that I found to be most helpful when I was sort of researching and trying to learn this technique. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate for you how I have been doing this technique. And I'm using a combination of the information that I gleaned from these various videos and the article. The result is not professional, it's just how I've been doing this, and I hope it's helpful to you in some way or another. I'm going to be going for a little bit more of an editorial look, but you can absolutely tone this look down or stop at whatever point that you feel comfortable with blush draping. So, how I prepped for this look is that I went a little bit more subtle on the eyes for me, and I'm going to be going with a very sheer wash of color at the end for lips. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the three products that I'm going to be using today are the Clinique Cheek Pop in Fig Pop. You guys know this is a favorite lately. The Milani Luminoso blush, as well as the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. Now, you don't need these exact products. What you need is to choose a color story or a color of blush that you feel like works with your eye look, which is why I went for like your warm, peachy kind of blushes today. But what you are looking for in terms of colors, Luminoso, behave, is you're looking for a little bit of a deeper tone blush. Ultimately, blush draping is about contouring the face with blush, so this is going to be my deeper tone that's going to give that lifted, chiseled effect. And then I picked a complementary lighter glowy blush that I'm going to use to add to that diffused part of the draping technique. And then you just want a highlighter that coordinates with your blush. You can go very subtle or very glowy. pure nude tends to be pretty subtle for me, and I'm going to swatch these out for you real quick just so you can see what I'm talking about. So hopefully, as you can see here, I've got this deeper tone. This is the Fig Pop. This is Luminoso. That's kind of almost going to be like my blending shade, and then the pure nude highlighter. And I just think because it's a subtle gold highlighter, it's going to work nicely with this warm look that I'm creating. So first thing I'm going to do is start working toward the eye. Now, if you are not going for an editorial look, you absolutely don't have to do this part, but this is how I like to start the blush draping process. And that is, I'm gonna take my blending or my lighter blush shade. Again, you can do this in any color story. If you decide you wanna do pink because you have a cooler tone look, then what you need is a deeper pink and a mid-tone pink. The first thing I'm gonna do is take a fluffy eye brush like so, and I'm going to start working this a little bit into the outer transition of the eye look and start pulling it out toward the temple. And what this does is, whoa, Luminoso, we have Kick Up. I always forget how dusty this stuff is. But what this does is sort of add to that diffused aspect of the blush draping. And instead of having a harsh line where the eye is, it's all going to melt together. Of course. BRB, Lucille wants out. Just like a kid sometimes. Just about the time you get ready to do something, they want something. So, like I said, on the outer part of my transition area of my eye, I'm gonna start bringing this lighter blush out to the temple, and then it's going to add to that diffused aspect. I'm even gonna bring a little bit down underneath the eye, just so, again, it's like this diffused wash of color, almost like a watercolor is what we're looking for here. And you can go as bold or as subtle as you like. So hopefully we can see here that we've now blown that color out from the eye. I'm gonna do the other side and then we'll be right back. I think I have both sides matching now. Very subtle, blown out from the eye look. Now, what I like to do next is go into my deeper shade, and this is where we're going to contour with the blush. And here we go. We're gonna start back at the temples because, again, this is where we want the most concentration of color, and we're going to work in circular motions and just start it back here at the temple. And we're gonna work it all the way into the hairline because we don't want a line of white right here. And as we get off the bulk of the pigment back on the temple, then we're gonna start working it down that cheekbone, but we want to keep it on the bottom of the cheekbone, just like you would do with bronzer. Not quite as low as a contour, but on the bottom of the cheekbone like you would do bronzer. Now, each time that you have to load your brush, and don't forget to tap off the excess, because we're doing draping, not clowning, you're going to again start back here where the bulk of the pigment's going to be, and we're going to work our way forward. I like to do swirling motions kind of going up, like so, and that keeps me from going too low. But again, we're working on the bottom part of the cheekbone, almost as if we're bronzing with our blush. And this is because we're using two different colors. When we come back in with Luminoso, we're gonna be working on the actual cheekbone. And then we're going to take just a tiny bit, not a lot of it, just a little bit, and we're gonna go up here right above the arch of your eyebrow, if you have an arch. Or if you don't have an arch, right where your tail starts to go down. This is kind of one of those places, like with bronzer, where the sun would naturally hit. And then we're going, as we got the bulk of the pigment off up here, we're gonna work it back down towards where we started at the temple. Now, we're not going to be too much of a perfectionist with this dark blush because we are going to go back into our mid-tone brush. We are going to go back into our mid-tone blush and add that diffused look. If you can't find your cheekbones, like if you have a round face like I do, just feel for it. Right here where we're under the cheekbone, that's where your contour goes. So right above that, you can feel your cheekbone. That's where we're aiming for with the blush. And then up top here, the top of the cheekbone, that's where we're going to highlight. And then right on the cheekbone is where we're gonna put our mid-tone blush. Hopefully this makes sense. Absolutely leave questions down in the comments if you have any, because I would be more than happy to answer them for you. Now we're going to go into our mid-tone blush. And this is kind of where we're going to basically diffuse the edges of where we put our darkest blush. Again, I'm going in with Milani Luminoso. You can use glowy or you can use a matte blush. Either way, it's going to work. I just felt like glowing today. So I'll load up my brush again and tap it off. And this time we're going to work actually on the cheekbones, but we're still going to start back at the temple. And because we're going to be working higher up, I actually like to start mine right here at the edge of the eye look that I've diffused out. So right here, and then work it down the cheekbones. Still using that upward motion though. That just helps me to not go too low. Ta-da! And then I'm gonna do the same thing up top where we worked here and down to there. I'm going to use this blush over top, just working to diffuse the darker blush. And I'm kind of doing a wider pattern here. I'm gonna again make sure that that's blending in with the eye look. You can definitely go back in with your fluffy eye brush, again with Luminoso or your mid-tone blush, but this is just what I do. So see what this looks like over here versus what's going on over here. This is what we're looking for. It's like a C shape there. And then this is the unfinished side. So second verse, same as the first. Look at that glow from the Luminoso. Ta-da! Are we looking even? I think we are. I'm gonna go back to my fluffy eyeshadow brush and just do a little bit more toward the edge of the eye look here. On both sides, and then I'll use my blush brush to work it into the drape situation. Okay, so now we are ready for highlight. And for highlight, I like to place this pretty strategically. I'm going to be using a smaller highlight. If you are a fan of the Real Technique setting brush for highlight, that works too. I'm just gonna be using this one from Morphe. I'm trying to make more use of it lately. So I'm gonna load my brush with this highlighter here, tap off the excess, and the only place that I'm going to highlight on the actual cheeks is right on the apples. So right here. That's where I want that pop of glow, because the Milani Luminoso is glowy enough on its own. Now, if your mid-tone blush is not glowy, you can absolutely highlight the whole cheekbone as you normally would. Totally cool. maybe just a little bit right here and working down just a little bit. I just love this highlighter. It's like you could never get too much, never end up looking too glowy. Okay, that is it. Now we're going to set our face, or I am, and then we're gonna do a quick lip. For lips, this is the one I'm wearing currently. This is just like a little balmy thing from Draping. It is the mini lip glaze in Paris Pink. Swatch that for you next to my old swatch, but here's what it looks like right here. This would be totally fine. Like I said, that's what I've been wearing during the video. Absolutely too, if you went, you know, relatively subtle on the eyes like I did, you can definitely pair a bold lip with this. I just wanted to show you a fresh, sort of subtle lip because that's not what I normally do on my channel, so just for the sake of being different. But first I'm gonna go in with my MAC lip liner in the shade Whirl. This is definitely a My Lips but better shade for me. So I'm gonna line my lips, and I'm also gonna line sort of the inner part on both lips, if that makes sense. Good grief. This is exactly what I wanted. I just want a little bit of definition on my lips so they don't sort of fade into the skin. Now, this is kind of funny, but this is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in the shade Luminoso. I thought it would be perfect for this. I haven't really worn this yet, but this was a Christmas gift from my girl Angela from Beauty by Angela. Ooh, too much. Abort, abort. Ta-da! So, this is the finished look. Not quite as editorial as I was thinking it was going to go, but that's all the better. Totally wearable blush draping. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little edition of Beauty School Learn With Me on blush draping. And please leave me a comment down below on what you would like to see in our next Beauty School episode. I'm happy to demonstrate whatever you like. I will do the same thing. I will look at videos, I will do my research, and then I will come back and share it and demonstrate it for you. So that being said, I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful beauty school days, and I will see you in my next video soon.